Hello, YouTube. Sussex Nash fan back, and this time we are talking about Jenet. Now, Jenet used to be one of my mains in KOF 15, so I do have a lot of experience on her. Even though I haven't played her as much in this game, I do have a little bit of time with her. Now, she is very similar to 15. The only differences would be that she does not have a reflect with her quarter circle back series, and she also does not have a run like she did in KOF. She has a dash, but that does not stop her from schmoving, because she definitely has a wave dash in this game that I will talk about in just a few. Now, her mobility is very good in this game because she can break her axe kick, which will be her quarter circle back A, quarter circle back B or D. She can break this move right here and gain space because of it. So because of this, she can create mix-up opportunities that most characters cannot do at all. She can cross you up from distances that she should not be able to cross you up from because of that. So quarter circle back D is a very good pressure tool when you break it. Now, she also has her signature Harrier, which she can land at different trajectories and try to throw off your anti-air timing if your opponent is, especially if your opponent is trying to go for a dodge to try to get the anti-air. So I'm going to make Terry try to dodge just to show off the Harrier can throw off his timing, and you get a wild punish on that timing. Just like that. So she can throw off an anti-air angle very well, even if she is jumping forward at you, because she does bounce a little bit beforehand and comes down to wild punish your anti-air attempt. So it's very tricky to anti-air her in the air unless you are doing a uppercut or you have some type of air throw, because she can throw off your timing. And she does come with a dive kick in this game, which would be forward and B. So she can throw off her trajectory even more, doing the dive kick and basically just eliminating your whole anti-air game. So her air mobility can be quite annoying for the opponent, so you have to lab out your options to try to anti-air her for sure. Now, let's talk about Janette's normals. So her normals have never been the type of normals where you're just going to be whiff punishing your opponent all day. She has a far reach in A that does actually reach pretty far for an A. She has her B series, which is like, all of these are the same normals that she had in Garu and the same normals that she had in KOF. Far C has range, but not as much range as a crouching C. Her crouching C is still a very goated whiff punish if you are going for a whiff punish, or even a counter poke if your opponent is trying to run at you. This is definitely still a go-to button to press, because it definitely has some reach on it. She also has a good sweep, but unlike like a KOF, like the sweeps in this game are like highly negative, so you're not going to be throwing them out too much on block, but they do exist because in this game you cannot special cancel the sweep. So it has a lot of range, so you can definitely whiff punish with it, but you're not going to be throwing it out as much as you would in maybe like KOF 15. So her normals are going to be primarily used up close. She is an up close character, so you're going to be using a lot of crouch B, stand A for a confirm. Her close standing A is +1, and her close standing B is +3. You're going to be using the stand B a little bit more because the reward on hit is higher. If you hit a close stand A, it's only +3, and if you hit a close stand B, it is +5, meaning you can link her close stand C, which is also 5 frames, and that's going to be your main combo starter to start all of her combo routes. Now, like I said, with her B and Bs, it's going to look a little bit like this, like a little quick confirm like that. You might even do this. Something like that. All of those are like little mini B&Bs that she can get for a little bit of quick damage. And they also work as block strings, as you just saw. Now, her main combo route is definitely going to revolve around her hitting a close stand C feint, because her close stand C feint is +3. So she gets auto pressure off of the +3 with a far C, which is 7, meaning it will come out at 4 frames and no button can beat it. Not even a 4-frame jab, because this game has button priority. So if you press a light at 4 frames and I press a heavy at 4 frames, I will always beat you because of the game's priority system. Heavies beat lights. Now that will only apply, like I said, if the frames match up. So if they both hit on the 4th frame, a heavy will always beat a light. That's how the button priority works in this game. Now, before we get too deep into her main B&B combo you're going to do, I am going to go back to the mobility of this character because she does have a wave dash. Now, I'm going to do a separate video on wave dashes and talk about how characters without runs have wave dashes. But for Jenet, it is going to be if you hold the guard button or the rev button and you tap forward, she will always dash, correct? But if you hit 6, which is forward, and then 3, which is down forward, and you can look at your keyboard if you don't really know the notations. If you hit 6 and 3 repeatedly, she will start the wave dash. And as you see, that is a more mobile option than just dashing forward all day, because you are canceling your dash with a down forward input. So it looks like she's skipping across the map. Now, to her B&Bs. Her main B&B starter is going to be her standing C, which is 5 frames, and it's going to go into her far C, which is can be target comboed if you do far C, forward C, and she will hit 2 punches. So it's very easy to hit confirm that. So it'll look something like this. Alrighty, so let's talk about her special moves. Now, Janette's special moves are some of the best in the game, especially for pressure sequences, meaning her EXs give her high reward on block and can create a situation to open your opponent up at any given time. But we'll talk about the normal special moves first. So when we talk about her fireball is definitely not that great. The light fireball is used mostly for meaty setups because it doesn't even go full screen. So after post throw in the corner, you'll probably be using some light fireballs. Her heavier fireball does go full screen, but has a lot of recovery, so your opponent can easily jump over that and hit you with a wild punish combo if you are caught lacking. But her EX projectile is a very strong move because it brings you back towards her. So it gives her some auto pressure. So like, let's say you do stand C into an EX fireball, it brings you back at +3. Now I know you're wondering, what if my opponent rev guards that? Like what's the interaction there? Well, I have bad news for you. If they rev guard it, you actually get more plus frames for them rev guarding it. You go from +3 to +4, and you are still in a range to threaten. Now, you are not in a range to throw. Your throw will whiff, so you will have to micro throw them, but you are in a range of buttons, so you could definitely hit them for trying to hold up or hit them for trying to press a button. Now, just to note, I did say her fireball has very bad recovery, and if your opponent jumps over it, you are cooked. However, there is a little trick to her fireball that you could do. Now, everybody knows there are feint animations in this game, but with Janette specifically, if you press down feint, she will still do the fireball animation. And it can get your opponent to jump for a easy anti-air combo. Just like that. Now you can use a heavier version to get a combo or an EX version to actually get a full route if your opponent does jump at you, because her quarter circle forward series does have air invul. Now let's talk about her quarter circle back series of B and D. Now I talked about this slightly earlier, that this is going to be most of her mix-up potential. So she can break all of these and fake out. So I could break my quarter circle back B and throw you if you are going to sit there waiting on the B to actually make contact, or I can do quarter circle back D, and before it even hits you, I can do a cross up off of the break, which can create a lot of different mix-ups for Janette, and it's going to be the main way you're going to structure your offense. Now, her quarter circle back EX is one of the scariest mix-ups in the entire game. It is an instant cross up that literally, well, I'll just show you. Watch this. Do you see how fast that was? And she gets a combo off of it. Now, this will not cross up your opponent. This will not cross up your opponent if they are standing. That is what quarter circle back D is for. Because this has an angle where it can actually cross you up. So learning your spacing and where you're going to get the cross up is very important. But if you are pressuring your opponent and they are not ready to stand up, you can definitely cross them up. Now, the rev button is very good for that situation because it will block left and right for you. So if you're super unsure on which side she's going to land on, you can stand up, rev guard, and it will block left and right for you. So the primary mix-up that you're going to want to do with Jenet is combining her EX Fireball, which brings the opponent in, and combining her quarter circle back EX, B, and D to be able to set up an instant cross up once you bring your opponent in. Just like that. And that is very tricky. Like I said, to block, the only option really is to try to rev guard it. You can also uppercut it. Your uppercut will auto correct if she goes behind you, but if you do not have an uppercut, then it is very hard to deal with. In some instances, you can do a dodge with down, rev, and heavy, but in some instances you cannot. It just depends on how big the gap is when she does the fireball to the cross up. But in general speaking, the rev button is going to be your best friend in that situation. So Jenet does not have a traditional reversal. She has a counter in this game. The counter is okay if it does hit. It does have a high reward, especially on the EX counter, because you can dish out a good amount of damage off of it if it hits. However, it loses to lows and it loses to throws. So losing to lows and losing to throws is definitely not that good if your opponent is meeting you with lows and throws. However, if your opponent does try to strike you, you will get a combo. So that definitely can come in clutch if you really do feel like your opponent is going to strike you and you throw out an EX counter. You can get a lot of damage out of that and definitely flip the tide of the match in your favor. Her quarter circle back A and quarter circle back B are generally going to be used in combos. They can also be used as guard cancel tools, especially the quarter circle back A. But in general, you are going to use those as combo fillers. Now, what I will say is quarter circle back A is relatively safe on block at the end of strings because it's -4. 4-frame jabs do exist, but the pushback will keep you at a safe range. Quarter circle back C is actually a lot more unsafe because it's -6 and pushes you closer. So that's definitely going to be used as more of like a combo finisher. And the EX version is again -4, but that one does push you a lot closer to your opponent. So a 4-frame jab character like a Hotaru or a Hokudomaru will be able to punish that. So you'll be looking at that special move more so for combo finishers. Jenet does come with a learning curve because she definitely has a lot of options to open the opponent up in different ranges at which she can pressure the opponent. But once you master it, she could actually be one of the scariest mix-up characters in the entire game. Hopefully this Jenet guide helped all you guys out. We will have a preacher guide next on the YouTube, so stay tuned. But until next time, peeps, peace.